Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into the world of music production.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at how specific gear, equipment has actually shaped how we hear music and what we think sounds good.
Like what makes something sound professional, right?
Absolutely.
And we're going to be exploring this through this really interesting article, The Gear That Shaped Our Musical Sound.
Yeah, it's a fascinating look at how these, iconic pieces of equipment have literally become part of the music.
It's kind of crazy to think that, the absence of certain gear can actually make a mix sound off.
Like something's missing. Yeah, almost like you're expecting a certain sound and it's not there.
Totally. I actually remember when I first started producing, I was always struggling to get this really big, expansive sound in my mixes, that kind of depth.
Oh, yeah.
And then I discovered the Lexicon PCM70 reverb.
Oh, nice.
It was like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Sort of like that missing piece of the puzzle,
It is like a sonic puzzle. That's a good way to put it. I mean, Lexicon reverbs, especially those like the PCM70, they've been a staple in music production for so long.
Yeah.
They really kind of define, I think, how we perceive depth in music.
Especially in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. 80s pop, ambient music. You think about like those big, spacious sounds.
Huge.
It's often like a lexicon reverb creating that effect.
I think it's so cool how one piece of equipment can just completely change the feel of a song.
Yeah.
Think about when you hear a song and you just feel totally enveloped by the sound, like you're transported to another place.
Yeah.
That's often a Lexicon reverb at work.
Creating that immersive experience. It's amazing. And speaking of making a mix come alive, let's talk about SSL.
Oh, yeah.
And, specifically their bus compressors.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed, when you're listening to a really well-produced track, how everything just kind of clicks? Like the instruments all seem to gel together perfectly?
Yeah. Like it's all glued together somehow.
Yeah, exactly. That glue, that's often SSL bus compression at work.
Okay, so it's not just about making things louder.
No. It's about creating this cohesion, this sense that everything is working together.
I see.
And the SSL 9000J series, it's like a modern classic. It's used on so many pop productions. It gives you that really clean, polished sound,
That really professional sound.
Yeah, exactly, like radio ready. But the story of SSL actually goes back even further to the E series, in the late 70s.
Oh, wow.
That's when this idea of punch and cohesion, it really took off.
So if a song sounds super polished and professional, chances are there's an SSL console involved.
It's a pretty safe bet, yeah. But while SSL and Lexicon are giants, there are so many other pieces of gear that have shaped music.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like a whole sonic tapestry out there.
Okay, what else is on this sonic tapestry? I'm ready to hear more.
Well, we can't talk about iconic gear without mentioning the LA2A and 1176 compressors.
Oh, yeah.
They add this weight and presence, especially to vocals.
Yeah, I always think of the LA2A as having this really warm, vintage kind of sound.
Yeah, it's a classic for a reason. And then on the EQ side, we have the legendary Pultec EQP1A.
I remember reading about this. Isn't there a Pultec trick?
Oh, yeah, the Pultec trick.
Yeah.
It's this classic technique for adding warmth and clarity.
How does that work?
You boost the high frequencies, but it doesn't sound harsh. It's like this really smooth, airy kind of boost.
Oh, that's cool. So it opens up the mix.
Exactly. And speaking of adding warmth, we can't forget about Studer tape machines.
Oh, yeah, tape.
Even today, producers are still trying to recreate that analog saturation, that richness that you get from recording to tape.
Yeah, there's just something about that sound.
It's hard to replicate with just digital technology.
It's almost like we're trying to recapture the magic of older technology,
It's interesting, isn't it? It makes you wonder if our ears have become so used to certain sonic qualities, like maybe we've developed a taste for them.
Yeah. Maybe we're craving certain sounds without even realizing it.
What if that's why sometimes a mix just doesn't feel quite right? Maybe it's missing that specific sonic signature that we've come to associate with a certain feel or genre.
Whoa, that's a really interesting thought. But how do we even figure out what those sonic cravings are?
Well, it's like being a detective.
Okay.
Think about the music that really inspires you, like those tracks that just have that it factor.
Yeah.
Where were they recorded? What gear was used? Even consider the era of production.
If all my favorite albums were recorded on a Neve console. Maybe that's a clue, right?
Exactly. And once you start to see those patterns, you can start experimenting. There are all these amazing plug-in emulations of classic hardware.
Oh, yeah, from companies like UA Waves.
Yeah, exactly. Acoustica, Arturia, so many others. They're
Yeah.
making these amazing emulations of vintage gear. It's incredible.
So even if we can't afford a real vintage Neve console, we can still get close to that sound.
You can get pretty darn close. It's like a sonic playground out there, and it's all at your fingertips.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's not just about copying the past. It's about using this knowledge to find our own sonic voice.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Understanding these tools, it gives you so much freedom to create. You can stay true to those classic sounds, or you can forge your own path, you know?
Yeah, it's like having this whole sonic toolbox at our disposal.
Exactly. Now let's get specific. Let's talk about some of the consoles that have shaped countless recordings.
All right, hit me with those sonic legends.
Okay, first up, we have the SSL 4000 EG series.
Classic.
Yeah, famous for that punchy bus compressor and its EQ. It defined the sound of so much music in the 80s and 90s.
Especially pop and rock, right?
Oh, yeah. Tons of hits were mixed on those consoles. Then we have the SSL 9000 JK series. That brought in a cleaner, more modern SSL sound, really popular in pop and R&B.
Okay, so two different flavors of SSL.
Exactly. And then, of course, we have the legendary Neve 80 series. That's from the 70s.
Oh, yeah, the Neve.
Known for its warmth, its musicality. Those preamps, they're practically legendary.
I've heard so much about those preamps.
They're incredible. And then for something a bit more punchy and aggressive, we have the API consoles like the 1608 and 2448. Those are really popular in rock and hip hop.
Okay, so we've got punchy SSL, warm Neve, and aggressive API. This is quite the sonic lineup.
And we're just getting started. We also have the Trident A range and Series 80B consoles.
What are those known for?
Their EQs are amazing, really colorful. They were used on albums by David Bowie, Queen, Radiohead, you name it.
Wow, talk about leaving a mark on music history.
And finally, for consoles, we have the Harrison 32C. That played a huge role in shaping the sound of, Michael Jackson's Thriller. A lot of early funk and disco was recorded on those.
That's a pretty impressive lineup of consoles. What about compressors? What gems are we going to uncover there?
All right, let's talk compression. First up, we have the SSL-G bus compressor.
Ah, yes, the glue.
The glue, exactly. It's been holding mixes together since the 80s. And then we have the Fairchild 670. That's a tube compressor used by the Beatles, Pink Floyd. Adds this incredible warmth and smooth compression.
Okay, so we've got glue and warmth. What else is in the compressor toolbox?
Then there's the UREI 1176.
Oh, yeah.
That one's known for its fast attack and really aggressive compression. It's often used on drums, vocals, guitars. Really gives them that in-your-face kind of sound.
So you've got glue, warmth, and aggression.
Exactly. And then for something a bit smoother and more refined, there's the Teletronics LA2A. That's an optical compressor. A lot of people love it on vocals and bass.
Okay. And what's the last one on our compressor list?
We have the Empirical Labs Distressor. That's a modern classic. It's known for being super versatile. You can use it to shape transients, add some grit. It's a really powerful tool.
All right, we've covered consoles and compressors. Now let's move on to EQs. What sonic wonders are we going to discover there?
Let's talk EQ. First up, the Pultec EQ-P1A. We've already talked about the Pultec trick, but this EQ is just magic.
Yeah, I'm ready to hear more about this magic.
It can add this incredible air and sheen to a track, especially with that boost at 10 kilohertz. It just gives it this sparkle, this brilliance.
It's like adding fairy dust to the sound.
It really is. And then we have the Neve 1073 and 1081 EQs.
Oh, yeah, the Neve EQs.
They're known for that thick, warm sound, especially in the mid-range. They can make a vocal sound huge.
Classic Neve sound. What else do we have?
If you want something punchier, more aggressive, there's the API 550A, 550B, and 560 EQs. They're often used to add bite to drums and bass.
Okay, so we've got air, warmth, and punch. What's the last EQ on our list?
The Harrison 32C EQ, it's got this really unique musical tone, very subtle, but it's been used on tons of iconic records.
It's amazing how many hit songs have been shaped by these EQs. Now let's journey into the world of reverbs. What sonic landscapes are we going to explore there?
Get ready for some sonic immersion. First up, we have the Lexicon reverbs, like the 224, 480L, and PCM 70.
Ah, yes, the Lexicon reverbs. Those are the ones that create those huge, spacious soundscapes, right?
Exactly. They're known for those lush, expansive digital reverbs. They can transport you to another world.
I can almost hear those sounds already.
Mhm.
What other reverb adventures are we taking?
For that classic plate reverb sound, there's the EMT 140 plate reverb, used by the Beatles, Motown artists, so many others.
It's like a sonic time machine, taking you back to another era.
Totally. And for that quintessential 80s drum sound, there's the AMS RMX 16 reverb.
Oh yeah, the 80s drum sound. Big, gated reverb.
Exactly. You can hear it on so many Phil Collins tracks, Prince, U2. And then rounding out our reverb lineup, we have the Bricasti M7.
What's that one like?
It's a modern high-end reverb known for its really realistic, natural-sounding spaces. Really popular in film and pop mixing.
Wow, we've gone through consoles, compressors, EQs, and reverbs. It's like we've just taken a crash course in music production history. But with all this gear, how do we even begin to make sense of it all?
Well, it's not about memorizing every single piece of gear. It's about understanding the role they've played in shaping the sound we love. Think of it like a sonic treasure map. You now have clues to decipher the sonic landscape of your favorite tracks. You can start identifying the specific tools that were used to create those sounds.
Like becoming a sonic detective. You hear a lush reverb and think, could that be a lexicon? Or you hear that tight, punchy sound and think, that's got to be an SSL bus compressor.
Exactly. The more you train your ears to recognize those sonic fingerprints, the more you can start incorporating those elements into your own productions.
So even if we don't have access to $1 million vintage studio, we can still experiment with those iconic sounds through plugins.
That's right. You can have a virtual studio filled with emulations of all this legendary gear right at your fingertips. Want that classic Neve warmth? There's a plugin for that. Dreaming of those lush Lexicon reverbs, there's a plugin for that too.
It's like having a sonic playground at our disposal.
It really is. You can mix and match, try different combinations, and see what works for you. This knowledge gives you the freedom to shape your own unique sonic identity.
So it's not about simply mimicking the past, but using this knowledge to explore new sonic territories and create something truly original.
Exactly. This deep dive has given you a glimpse into the history of sound, the tools that have shaped music for generations. But now it's up to you to take that knowledge and run with it. Experiment, explore, and find the sounds that resonate with you.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to think about, we can have these tools that were once only available to, big time studios.
Right.
And now we can have them in our own little home studios.
It's pretty amazing, democratization of music production, right?
Totally. But I'm curious, we've been talking about these plug-in emulations of vintage gear. It's kind of mind-blowing to me how they can actually, capture the sound of analog circuitry in a digital format. How does that even work?
Well, it's pretty complex. It involves a lot of sophisticated math and digital signal processing.
Okay.
You're basically creating algorithms that model the behavior of the original hardware.
So they're creating a digital blueprint of the analog circuit.
Yeah, in a way. They analyze the electrical characteristics of the original gear, like how it responds to different frequencies, different dynamic ranges, and then they use that information to create a digital model that behaves in a similar way.
That's fascinating. But is it truly possible to, perfectly replicate the sound of analog gear using digital technology?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
It's a debate that's been going on forever in the audio world.
Yeah.
Some people swear by the warmth and character of analog.
Yeah.
They say digital just can't replicate it. But others argue that digital technology has gotten so good that the differences are barely noticeable.
It's kind of like with the whole vinyl versus digital debate, isn't it?
Totally. It really comes down to personal preference, I think.
Yeah.
What are you looking for in a sound?
Totally. So there's room for both approaches.
Absolutely. Some producers love the immediacy and flexibility of digital.
Yeah.
Others love the sonic nuances, even the imperfections of analog.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's about finding the tools in the workflow that work best for you.
So it's not like one is better than the other. It's about what serves your creative vision.
Exactly. And, I think it's important to always be open to trying new things, to experimenting, to learning. The world of music production is always evolving.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And speaking of evolving, we've been focusing a lot on Western music production. What about other cultures and traditions?
That's a great point.
Do they have like their own unique sonic signatures,
Oh, absolutely. The world of music is so diverse. Every culture has its own rich history of musical innovation and technological development.
Yeah.
Think about traditional instruments like the sitar in Indian classical music.
Yeah, or like the gamelan in Indonesian music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, specific techniques have developed over centuries to create those unique sounds.
And probably specialized equipment too, right?
Oh, definitely. And even within those traditions, you'll find all sorts of variations, different regions, different schools of thought.
That's so cool. It makes me want to like dive deeper into global music production.
Yeah, there's a whole world of sound to explore.
But for now, let's bring it back to the gear we've been discussing.
Okay.
These legendary consoles, compressors, EQs, reverbs, they've clearly had a huge impact on music.
Yeah.
But do you think there are any like emerging technologies that have the potential to, shape the future of sound?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's something that producers and engineers are always thinking about. Audio technology is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
There's always something new on the horizon.
I've been reading a lot about like artificial intelligence and machine learning lately. Like there are these AI-powered plugins that can actually analyze audio and suggest mixing decisions.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, AI is definitely something to keep an eye on. It has the potential to really change how we create and produce music.
But what about the human element? Like,
No.
do you think AI will ever fully replace the creativity and intuition of a human producer?
That's a big question, and I think it's one that sparks a lot of debate.
Yeah.
I personally believe AI will become an incredibly powerful tool,
Yeah.
but I don't think it will ever fully replace humans.
So it's more likely to be like a collaborative relationship.
I think so. Like, AI can help us be more efficient, explore new possibilities, but ultimately it's that human touch, that emotional connection we bring to music that's irreplaceable.
Yeah, I totally agree. Music is a form of human expression, and I think that human element will always be at the heart of it.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to the idea we were talking about earlier. The gear is just a tool. It's up to us, the human creators, to use those tools to express ourselves and connect with others.
Through the power of music.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful sentiment. And it's a good reminder that at its core, music is about human connection.
Absolutely. It's a universal language.
It transcends borders and cultures.
It has the power to bring people together, to inspire, to uplift.
And to create these shared experiences that like stay with us long after the music is over.
It's pretty magical when you think about it.
It really is. Well, this has been such an insightful conversation. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the history and evolution of sound.
Me too. And, I really encourage everyone listening to keep exploring the world of audio, to experiment, to try new techniques, to push the boundaries.
That's a great message for our listeners. But before we wrap up, let's bring it back to this idea of being a sonic detective.
Yeah, the sonic detective.
We've uncovered a lot of clues today. Now it's time to put those detective skills to work. Okay, so we've got this sonic treasure map, and we're ready to go on a treasure hunt. But like, where do we even start? How do we put these detective skills to work?
It all comes down to really actively listening. The next time you hear a song you love, try to listen to it with fresh ears. Really pay attention to the sounds.
Okay.
Ask yourself, what's creating this overall sound? What makes this so captivating?
So instead of just passively enjoying the music,
Yeah.
I'm actively engaging with it.
Exactly. And you might start picking up on things you never noticed before, little details.
Yeah.
Like maybe you hear this really warm, present vocal and you think, oh, that could be an LA2A. Or maybe you hear this really airy, sparkly top end and you remembered the Pultec trick.
It's like I'm unlocking like a secret code.
Yeah.
I'm deciphering the sonic language of the music.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Your ears become more attuned to those subtle things.
It's like a superpower.
It kind of is. You're training your ears to recognize these sonic fingerprints. And then here's the really fun part. You can start experimenting with those same tools in your own music.
So even if I don't have like $1 million studio,
Yeah.
I can still play around with those sounds.
Yeah, you can use plugins. You can build a whole virtual studio filled with these amazing emulations.
Love that.
You want a Neve? Boom, there's a plugin for that. Want a Lexicon? Boom, plugin.
It's like this huge sonic playground.
Exactly. And you can mix and match, experiment with different combinations, and see what works for you.
So it's not about like copying what other people have done,
Yeah.
but more about using that knowledge to find my own sound.
Exactly. It's about finding your own voice.
Well, I feel like this deep dive has given me like a whole new understanding of the tools that have shaped the music I love.
Yeah. It's like we've gone on this incredible journey through the history of sound.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to start listening to music with these new ears,
Yeah.
my sonic detective ears.
That's awesome. And remember, the most important thing is to have fun. Enjoy making music.
That's right. So to everyone listening, keep experimenting, keep creating, and most importantly, have fun.
Until next time, happy mixing, everyone.